Well, this is a parent's nightmare, and it's also a completely preventable tragedy. A child left in a car in the heat of the summer ends up dead. It happened again last week in Homewood, Alabama. According to the Birmingham News, the mother of an 11-year-old girl went to work and forgot the baby was strapped in her car seat. 3 hours later, the woman found her daughter dead in the car. Outside, it was 90 degrees. Inside the car, it was 120 degrees. According to San Francisco State University, the infant was the 22nd child to die in a hot vehicle this year. Since 1998, almost 600 kids have lost their lives in this way. A new public service announcement is driving home that message that hot cars can kill. We're going to show you about 50 seconds of it. You're watching some here. Want to warn you that it is very, very disturbing.
Yeah, I just pulled in at the store, and I've got to grab just a few things, then I'll be home. We can go. Hey, yeah, talk to you later. Okay, see you, bye.
It's incredibly disturbing, very hard to watch. Again, that was a public service announcement made really to warn people of just how dangerous this is and that it happens to too many children. One child is too many. I want to bring in from Boston, Alison Rhodes. She's a child safety expert for SafetyMom.com. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about this, Alison. For parents and caregivers who think it's okay, I'm just running in the store a few minutes, it's easier than getting them unbuckled from the car seat, you know, getting them inside, I just have to run in. Talk to me about how few minutes it can really take for a child in a hot car to get that heat stroke and possibly die.
Well, it only takes 10 minutes for a car's interior to heat up by more than 19 degrees. But I do want to clarify something, because so many people sit there and watch the news and say, how could a parent do this? They're negligent. The reality is 51% of people simply have forgotten their child is in the car. Another 29% have died because they're playing in the car and the parents didn't know they got in. This case down in Alabama, as you mentioned, is an 11-month-old. The mom is just devastated. She was driving to daycare. She thought she was driving to daycare. She drove to work. She had a lot on her mind. A colleague had just passed away. She was planning on her daughter's one-year birthday party. She got to work. She forgot her child was in the car. The daycare called 3 hours later to say, where is the child? And that's when she realized what happened and she ran out. Unfortunately, by that time, after 4 to 5 hours, it could heat up to 45 degrees higher. So it's really important to remember these parents aren't usually purposely leaving their child. It's a pure accident because there's so much on our mind as parents. And that's what we need to talk about. What are those tips that we can really remember?
And I think that's such an important point, because and you see when you watch the full PSA, the public service announcement, you see how devastated the mother is coming out. This is a tragedy for the child, for the mother or father or sitter or whomever leaves the child in the car, for the entire family. So when you talk about it, it's not that they're intentionally leaving the child in the car to run inside. They can forget. So what can be done to help parents, babysitters, etc., remember and prevent?
Right. Well, there's a couple of things we have to keep in mind. First of all, the most important thing, a great acronym, be safe. The first thing is put something in the back seat of the car, your purse, your cell phone, which should be back there anyhow, a computer bag, so you remember to check the back seat when you get out. Secondly, make sure that every time that child is restrained properly in the car. Then here's a good tip. Keep a stuffed animal in the car. When your child's not in the car seat, put the stuffed animal in there. When your child is in, put put the stuffed animal in the front seat. So it's a reminder to you, my child's back there. And then really important, ask that care provider to call 10 minutes later if your child is late. Unfortunately, in the case down in Alabama, it was over 3 hours later. So ask, just 10 minutes would make a difference. Finally, focus as well. No distractions. Put the texting down, put the calls down, but even your mind. Clearly this mom down there had a lot on her mind. We need to focus. And then finally, every time you get out of the car, check the back seat. Every time. But then also, if you're not driving in your car, if your car is parked, keep it locked and keep the car keys somewhere else, because it's very easy for your child to climb in, play, and you don't even know it.
Absolutely. Alison, thank you so much for the tips and for sharing this with us. It's really tough to talk about and tough to see, but very, very important. Alison Rhodes, thank you.
Thank you.
Great information there. The science of life on Saturn. Next, why NASA scientists had us here on Earth waving and smiling at the distant planet this week. We'll talk about this.